how we can stop our addiction to extreme thinking. How do we help ourselves from jumping to the most extreme scenario when things start to go wrong? Extreme thinking, or more popularly known as thinking in black or white terms, is something we've all done at one time or another. It's when we jump to a conveniently drastic conclusion in the moment of conflict. For me, it's a convenient way to pass off responsibility at the moment. If I simply conclude that I'm a bad businessman for not doing well in a pitch, or I'm a bad son for not calling my mom on Mother's Day, I've got a quick solution to why a situation went wrong. In reality, I should be asking myself, what was wrong with the pitch and how can I improve next time? But by immediately jumping to, I'm a failure, I'm terrible at this, I shouldn't even bother. It's like I'm being held back by my shirt collar in a race. I built up this momentum running through the process, but suddenly I can't take any step forward. That's what extreme thinking does to us. It keeps us dwelling on the bad. The worst part about extreme thinking is that in some odd way, it feels good to us. Can you believe that? It feels good to beat us up. Oh my God. For me, I knew that it was due to the satisfaction of having an answer in momentum of chaos, even though the answer was that I screwed up. Who said this? Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. That was by W. Clement Stone. I discovered the quote at the perfect time. I was in the middle of a bad case of extreme thinking, beating myself up for a series of missteps. I kept thinking, I'm a terrible son for not calling my mom more. I'm a terrible friend for not seeing my friends more. The words, I'm terrible, keep coming out of my mouth. And of course, once we start extreme thinking, it's a quick spiral to stay in that mode. So how can we break out of this? How do we challenge ourselves to not indulge in the convenience of beating ourselves up? How do we avoid thinking extremely just so that we have an answer to life's many questions? It wasn't until a friend of mine noticed how I gave into this tendency, which I thought about changing. He passed along an article to me called Extreme Thinking, Black or White, All or None by Dr. George Simon. In this article, he describes people who give to extreme thinking as disordered characters. Now that doesn't sound very appealing, right? I certainly didn't consider myself to be a disordered person, but this passage in particular hit home. If they don't see themselves as completely on top of things and in total control, they will cast their circumstances as being on the bottom and the victim of someone else's oppression. Thinking extremely was limiting me from advancing as a person, plain and simple. If I kept on without drawing awareness to how I was going about my life, who knows what kind of damage I would do to my personal relationship. But most importantly, myself, I knew I had to change. Another quote struck me. Stop thinking in terms of limitations and start thinking in terms of possibilities. That was said by Terry Josephson. I knew it was finally time to break out of the limitations I was putting on myself. To destroy extreme thinking once and for all, I found that the following steps are incredibly effective. Ask yourself why, how, and what. Extreme thinking can play out like a dialogue of negativity with yourself. Instead of stopping at the first conclusion you hit, start asking yourself follow-up questions as if you are a journalist intent on getting the truth. When we find ourselves in a situation that's chaotic and troubling and that first solution is I fail, it's important we stop ourselves and ask why, how, and what. Why are you a failure? How did you come to this conclusion? What are you going to do next? This can help push us toward a real answer. Second, find your relaxation practice. Extreme thinking happens when we are most stressed out and desperate for answers. It's important that we are all cut through the chaos by finding a relaxation practice. Meditation, relaxing music, and resting our minds in a short nap can be a good palate cleanser for moments of chaos. Number 3, tell yourself, I'm having a great time and I'm doing a great job. And repeat it over and over. I tried this the other day when I was in a moment of extreme stress. I'm going to be honest. It felt kind of silly at the moment, but eventually my mood began to shift. By keeping simple reminders like this, we can all chip away all the convenience of extreme thinking and continue advancing our lives. Thanks, and take care of yourself.